And we're live! Actually, I did it that way a few minutes ago. Let's do it this way. And we're live. Live. Whoa. Hello.
What?
Welcome to the Crafty Boys, Mother Truckers. It is episode 82 of the Crafty Boys, and this week is a beer chosen by Alan.
By me.
And we had to change our choice because Dave's a loser and lives in the sticks. And so how's it going, guys? It's been a whole week. And by the way, Dave, if you have not been watching, which I'm sure you have been, we've been doing the Advent calendar. We just recorded episode 7 a few minutes ago.
Mm-hmm.
And it's doing well. We're being surprised actually most of the time. Like, not surprised isn't, oh my god, this beer actually tastes any good. No, it's more like a what the hell were they thinking? This is awesome. That kind of idea.
Nice.
So it's too bad that you
good.
suck. Hi, my name's Jackweed. Anyway, so Dave, you got the beer.
I did.
I got the beer. Alan has the beer.
I have
Alan,
the beer.
Tell us about this beer.
Well, it wasn't my first choice for today. I was going to go with something else. So maybe we'll do it another time. Dave wasn't able to get his hands on that one. I won't say what it is, but it's one that we should be able to find at pretty much any time of the year. So instead, I decided to go with the Cactus Grapefruit IPA from
which I have
Mile
right here as well.
Brewing in Victoria.
Cactus Grapefruit.
This is a limited release, so I'm interested to try it. And since we were all able to get our hands on it, I assume, yes,
Indeed.
were we?
I'm just waiting for Dave to be like, yeah, well, let me tell you, there's a story right there.
I even made sure that the two liquor stores in Campbell River and Courtney both had it. So he should have been able to get his hands on it.
Campbell River itself has about 10 fucking liquor stores within about 10
Like
square
BC
kilometers.
liquor stores?
No, not just BC liquor stores, but liquor stores of any flavor.
Right.
There's a new one being built as we speak.
Oh, cool.
It looks like it's almost done.
At 9:30 at night?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, they're pushing hard because they want this done for Christmas season, right? So
I see.
All right, I'm opening my bottle
everybody's busy getting
because I have the Christmas stick ready for action. And holy moly, Batman!
It smells like an IPA. Very citrusy. So, Dave, were you able to get your hands on it?
So.
He was holding it up. There we
Good.
go. That's what the
All
pour
right.
looks like. It's got a decent little head on it. Some nice color. It's hazy.
Really badly.
It's kind of,
See what kind of reaction I get out of it here.
and it smells like somebody smashed a grapefruit into my sinuses.
So if you pour it
very
really badly,
grapefruity.
that's what you get.
If you pour it right, that's what you get.
No, if you pour it really
That's the-
badly.
Oh, badly.
Yeah,
That's
so
how you
this is
said
what I got. Nice and clear.
I just
Well,
swooshed it
not totally clear. It's a little bit cloudy.
Mine's got a
fairly
haze
nice
to it. Like
head on it.
it's not see-through. Yours looks more see-through than mine, but
Yeah.
Mine's pretty cloudy. Maybe it's just the coldness.
wow. Okay.
That is extra.
It's in your face.
That is
But I think that's more the grapefruit than anything else.
It almost tastes like juice, just slightly.
So
Not a lot.
I want to add something else to our podcasts. So something I've been when I've been reading about the reviews on the Advent calendar beers. A lot of times they're talking about lacing. The lacing.
Yeah, what is?
beer.
I actually noticed
Okay,
that
all right,
because
so
you pointed me to the that
lacing
beer advocate site.
is the residue that the head leaves on the side of the glass as you're drinking it. So if there's no residue, there's no lacing. If there's a lot of residue, then it's very thick lacing. So the beer that has the thickest lacing is, of course, Guinness, where every single level, if you take a gulp, you can actually see on the glass where the previous level was. And it kind of goes in steps all the way down. That's a very thick lacing. So this here, you can see on my glass here, I've got a little bit of lacing here. Lacing is very prevalent in IPAs as well. So I would expect to see some lacing on this.
Interesting.
And look at that. Look at all that thick lacing.
Oh, yeah.
So that's what lacing is. Now we know. And knowing is half the battle.
Beer I know. I'm impressed.
All right, then. So what about our old standard here? The beer units.
What's that?
Where are we at with beer
Dave,
units?
you got a girlfriend?
Yep, that's my pussy.
Hook, line, sinker. What is the cat's name? I had no idea there was a cat in that house.
There's two. This would be Daisy.
Hello, Daisy. How are you, sweetie?
So
Clyde's
as for
face.
the IBU rating on this,
It's a full-on 70.
it is.
Which
Oh, it's right there on
good.
the front of the label and everything.
70 IBUs.
That's
Not
a lot
the
of beer
highest
units.
we've ever had, but we're getting up there. I mean, that's
Swig
pretty high.
and Florida Sunshine. Tangy citrus salad of malt and hops embellished with zest and peel. Bittersweet bracing intensity. Megaton Megaton hop bomb. Relish with grilled squid slathered in garlic. Known to volunteer CPR to limp takeout fish and chips.
It's a gooder. I like it.
Yeah,
What do you guys think?
I mean, I've not run into much that I have not liked from 4 Mile, if anything. Every time I've had 4 Mile, I tend to it's good. Like, it's never a question. Just because they are, they're just very good at what they do.
Dave.
This may be the only 4 Mile I've had at this point.
No,
we've
you've had
done
more.
other 4 Miles, right? We've
You
done
had
some.
the sweet potato.
Oh, that was my pick, even, wasn't it?
That was your pick.
Yeah. Okay. You guys know I'm not an IPA fan.
We know.
Yes. You cry like a little child every time we have it.
That's right. That's right. I've got the box of Kleenex right here beside me. You can't see it. but
You're going to
it's
cry
here.
at some point, and it's just going to happen.
Well, you got to be ready for it, you know? I was a Boy Scout at one point. Anyways. Yeah, so it's a little, a little much for me, honestly. But I do like it for what it is. It's interesting. Yes. And holy shit, look at that. That's a really bad pour. Anyways, I have to admit I've gotten a little bit of a taste for the IPAs, seeing as you guys have introduced me.
Mm-hmm. So it's a bit of an acquired taste then, maybe.
Oh, yeah. And you know what? I think anybody would say that. Like, you guys, okay, what's your history with IPAs? Because I know for a fact you didn't start there.
Well, and that's interesting. One of the first IPAs I ever had was when I visited Shane, actually, when he was in Vancouver. Now, what was that, Shane? What was that bar that was in the same building where your office was in?
You didn't have one. There was Dick's was nearby.
Yes, Dick's.
Dick's was in the building next door.
Oh, the building next door. Okay, so we went there one time. I can't remember when it was. It was quite a few years ago, and we had ordered a pitcher of IPA, and I think that may have been the first IPA I had ever had.
Oh, really?
And I honestly didn't like it. I thought it was way too bitter. It was hard to stomach, and maybe it was just that particular IPA. But after that, I had no problems with IPAs.
Well, I mean, IPAs are definitely when you get overhopped IPAs, like or overhopped or strongly hopped or whatever you want to call it. It's definitely something to watch out for, because a lot of the IPA, when you're using that many hops to get that hoppy flavor, you're running the risk of making it way too bitter, and at least for me. And I think the first time I had an IPA, I was like, doing the head shake thing, like, whoa, wow, this is really. But over time, when I actually started learning about hops and I was hearing about different types of hops, that's when I sort of decided, okay, well, because then, I don't know, a couple of years ago, they even started printing on the bottles what hops had actually been used. So I am able to find ones now where I actually like them, even though the hops are a bit stronger. I mean, like with this one, like with this being flavored with, grapefruit and whatnot. It's not something that I will shy away from. And especially with Locke's influence, hops are something I kind of gravitate towards a lot of the time. So yeah, I mean, it's something that I now like. It's definitely a taste I've had to warm up to, though.
Right. I think for this particular IPA, if it didn't have the grapefruit in it and it still had 70 IBU, and it was still had that sharp kind of flavor to it, I think it would be too much. But the grapefruit kind of it doesn't take the edge off. It just gives it a little bit of a different tang that makes it a little bit more palatable. Because when you have a grapefruit, I mean, it is going to be a bit bitter, right? So, but it kind of gives you that flavor of the grapefruit in there, so you're more willing to accept the bitterness, if that makes any sense.
It makes sense to me, because there's definitely that combination of hops and grapefruit. Because grapefruit's kind of got, I mean, it's bitter because it's a citrus, but it's also it has a bit of a punch to it because it has that sort of acidic, more like, I don't know. It seems to be more acidic than, say, an orange, at least to me, or the oranges that we generally will have in the grocery store.
For sure,
it's got more of that tart sort of go to flavor with it. So that combined with hops, it's kind of like, here's your first one, and then here's your second one. Here's the bitterness scale, that kind of thing. Yeah. So, but overall, I mean, this one, it actually has a fine balance. It doesn't stick with you. That's kind of what I'm trying to say, is that it doesn't stick in the back of your mouth. When you're drinking it and you're like, I remember the taste of that beer I had last night. No, it's not doing that. At least not for me. Now, I want to jump into this article you sent just before we started.
And
why? Okay, my first question is, why are us three not doing this exact thing?
Well, yeah. So I don't know if it's because of the Christmas season. I don't know if it's because the United States has gone off its nut. But apparently, Nordstrom in the States, the department store, I guess it's a high-end department store in the States, is marketing a rock. You could buy a rock from them. It comes in a leather pouch, and it's $85 US. So I'm just reading this article here from the Huffington Post, and the title, the headline is, "This stupid rock costs $85 at Nordstrom." Seriously. And they were like, so is there something special about this rock? Like, is it from something special? No, it isn't. It's just a rock. And apparently the selling point is that it's each one is unique. They will all vary slightly from each other, which they say makes sense because, well, they're rocks. And that's what rocks are. But if you're not able to afford the $85 rock, because, I mean, really, who has money to buy a rock for $85? They have a smaller rock that's only $65.
Well, that's kind of them.
Yeah. So
very thoughtful.
But it's a rock. It doesn't even have googly eyes on it. It's not named Harold or anything like that. It's a rock, and it comes in a leather pouch. And what's funny is on the sales page, it says, made solid, small leather wrapped stone. And, you get free shipping with it, which is good. But you can choose the color, and the only color available is natural.
The best part about this whole thing is this is not
somebody's
the first
making
time.
A shit ton of money off of a rock.
Well, this is not the first time that we've seen this happen in our lifetime. In was it 1975? The pet rock was launched as a product.
But at least that's something that's it's different. I mean, somebody took the time to do googly eyes on it.
How is a pet rock different from the stupid rock?
Well, a pet rock is sort of like more is stupid as well, but it's more stupid like, say, a Cabbage Patch doll.
Okay.
It's an inanimate object that's been personified. This hasn't even been personified. It's just a rock. I don't even know what the leather pouch has to do with anything.
But that makes it better because it's an authentic rock. It's the real deal, man.
Yeah.
No paint jobs, no fake eyes, none of that.
It's the whole point of this is not necessarily to sell rocks, but to get people to talk about Nordstrom's and get people to go to Nordstrom's website to look at this thing, and maybe they'll look at some other things and buy some other things.
I hope that that's the truth. Given the way things are down there right now, I would say, we're talking 50-50 your initial information, which is they've gone off their nut. And, Nordstrom's is actually being pretty clever with this ploy. So,
okay.
Yeah, maybe.
Well, I have to say that as a product to make people talk about something, it's not a stupid idea. It's actually kind of smart because right now we are doing this on this thing called the internet, and
where our one listener is going to catch it.
The internet is dumb. The internet is a ridiculous place. It has such potential that it's never really lived up to because people got involved. And when people get involved, stuff goes sideways in a way. And I mean, yeah, I work on the internet. I do a lot of stuff on the internet. But when you really step back for a while, which I have to do every once in a while, otherwise I go insane. I was at a conference a little while ago that had somebody from Microsoft, which I've forgotten the organization within Microsoft or the department or whatever they call themselves, but essentially it's a think tank that Microsoft and a bunch of other companies like Google and whatnot, people get together and sort of go, okay, with the current way things are going now in internet technology and how people are behaving on the internet, what is going to happen 20 years from now? And the biggest thing that they came up with is that, here's the thing, what kind of jobs are going to come out of that? What kind of careers are going to be launched because of these trends? And the one thing that was the most popular consensus was jobs like individual documentarians. So essentially, I would be somebody who would be hired, say, for example, to basically follow you around with a camera and for video, audio, and stills, and post those online on your behalf, because the trends at the moment are, which could change a decade from now or even 5 years from now, are such that jobs like that are going to really become popular. So people would actually pay someone to basically run their social media presence online, whatever that looks like a decade from now or 20 years from now. Because does not seem to be any desire for people not to do that. There's definitely a bunch of people that would prefer not to. Like, I limit my exposure to Facebook. Every time I post on a Facebook, I would say 99% of the time I do, it's automated through some other service. So I don't actually go to the Facebook page because I don't really like what they do. Because as time has gone on, the ability for Facebook to take information and to track you has started to get to a point where information is being revealed about somebody inadvertently. And so I limit my exposure that way, just because otherwise I'd be like everyone else, going down my timeline reading stuff, which on the other side of that, on the flip side of that is I miss a lot of stuff, invites, people communicating with me, because I don't get notifications from Facebook. I don't listen to Facebook. I will log in, I think maybe once every week or so, and I'll just buzz through to make sure that there is anything up there that I should be paying attention to, which most of the time it's not. It's like 7,000 notifications about stuff I could care less about. But it's interesting that people are so ingrained into using that system that I miss a lot of what's going on. And that is where these groups are going and looking and watching these sorts of behaviors, going, 20 years from now, it's going to be feasible that individuals who find that a draining experience will actually start paying someone to do it for them, because everyone seems to be drawn to it. So again, in 20 years, who knows? But still, I find it very interesting. Sorry, I'm totally talking about not beer. Sorry.
Yeah.
That's quite all right. And you know what? What you're talking about is already starting. It is already
started
happening.
A long time ago. And I mean, here's the other thing, too, is that Google, Microsoft, they all do the same thing. And because here's the thing. Because the community of people that work on the internet determined at some point in the past that they would prefer to have free access to stuff, and not pay for stuff. That's why these services became these sort of evil sort of tracking systems, because they can't make money otherwise. And I think, what is it? If Facebook wanted to make the amount of money that it makes right now, but by eliminating their advertising technology, the stuff that is invasively tracking us, it's something like people would be paying $5 to $10 a month for Facebook services. If they suddenly turned around tomorrow and said, by the way, it's going to cost you $5.99 a month, do you think people would pay it? No, of course not, because they want it to be free. But that's the problem, is that it's kind of like California. California wanted a lot of stuff to be free, and now they're in debt to their eyeballs, and they're not being able to like fix bridges and stuff. So, you know, it's that sort of trickle up effect, you know, where they make small choices. What do you mean? Oh, about California? California's government is huge. Like it's you know, as big as Canada kind of thing, money wise. But the problem is that there have been a lot of things that have been passed by their governor and by their local governments, that a lot of the time people were lobbying for these things because they didn't want it in their backyard. So a lot of tax-based things, a lot of basically loopholes are being abused. This is not something I'm just pulling out of the air. This has been going on for a long time, and it's been in the news every so often. But California, the problem is, even though they have this huge, incredibly large GDP, essentially, they have trouble paying for things like fixing stuff because somebody voted on something, you know, 20 years ago that said, I don't want to pay for that. So, okay, great. I don't want to pay taxes for that. Okay, great. But it's an example of what can happen to countries where, say, for example, no one wanted to pay for beer to be brewed without, you know, somebody dipping their testicles into it every day. You know, somebody would say, hey, I don't think that guy should dump his testicles in there. There should be a law against, you know, dipping your testicles in beer wort. But, you know, somebody said, well, you know what? It's his right as a brewmaster to brew his beer and dip his, you know, nuts into the thing. That's the flavor you get. And, you know, then, of course, you know, 20, 30 years later, 40 years later, somebody goes, oh, wait a second. There's all these people dying from some sort of weird infection by drinking this beer. What's going on? Is it the beer? Is it the hops they're using? Is it the malt? What's going on? And somebody goes, oh, yeah, remember Ted? Yeah, he died last year or 10 years ago or whatever. Yeah, he used to dip his testicles in all the time. So, yeah, is that a problem? You know, it's kind of like...
Dave. Shane's gone bye-bye, Dave.
What's in this beer?
I think we need to get him under control.
Get me under control, Dave. Because otherwise...
Dave.
Well, no, I wanted to understand what was going on there. I can't say I do, but I tried.
You didn't understand my testicle analogy? Oh, man.
No, I'm sorry. My brain is
disappointed in you, Dave. Disappointed.
Non-functional. Sorry.
Somehow we got talking about pet rocks to testicle dipping into beer brews. So
yeah, I don't know.
I don't know what happened there, man.
Okay, Shane, you tend to go off on tangents a lot. Has anybody ever told you this?
Yeah.
I mean, you're very tangential.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, tangents are good, but sometimes I mean, you got to keep it under control, dude. I mean, don't they have like a place called like Tangents Anonymous or something? Hi, my name is Shane, and I'm a tangent-aholic.
Why, thank you for coming to the meeting, Shane. I'd like to introduce you to Dave. He also is a tangent man. He's able to create tangents using string theory. It's an amazing thing to watch, but this particular thing is the support group for not using string theory or beer drinking as a way to create tangents. So,
dude, I can create tangents. Shane, fucking
Shane, would you like to explain to us how you like to go off onto tangents, please? Alan, you're playing the role of me now?
Oh, Alan, go.
Alan's dead. Okay. So Dave, is Alan
okay? Right.
I think Alan's frozen.
Alan is now max headroom. Alan has become max headroom.
Oh, am I?
Yeah, you're totally max headroom.
You guys are.
All I saw was this.
Max.
I think you guys have gone all max headroom on me.
Who misses Max? Dave. Who misses Max?
It's funny you mentioned Max
if you miss Max,
because I was watching an episode of Black Mirror the other day. Which, by the way, if you have not seen Black Mirror, Wow, you need to watch. It's amazing.
It sounds nasty. Yeah, it's worth it.
It's a show that I'm in love with right now because it's basically about what I was just talking about. Science fiction stories about the near future.
Dipping testicles in beer?
Dipping testicles into beer. But it talks about social development of the human race, essentially, and how technology impacts people's ability to communicate. Like one of the episodes, for example, is everyone has their phone, and
No
there's
spoilers,
this
by the
whole
way.
worldwide system. Well, this won't spoil it, but it's a whole worldwide system of you and I will both have. So have you got your phone with you? So grab your phone, or pretend you have your phone in your hand.
I have my phone. I have my phone.
Okay, and now your interaction with me just now. So, Dave, hi, how's it going, man? Do you have the time?
I do, actually.
What time is it, Dave?
It is 9:52, Shane, on Wednesday, December the 7th.
Thanks, Dave. And then, after our interaction has completed, I've asked you for the time. You've given it to me. I will aim my phone at you and give you a rating on a 5 heart scale or stars or whatever. And then you would rate me back. Okay. So basically, you and I have rated each other.
Scale?
Sorry?
Could it be like a bacon scale? Like instead of 5 hearts or 5 stars, could it be better? Like 5 strips of bacon?
5 strips of bacon?
Yeah.
So,
I think
as everyone has rated you and everyone has rated me, we have an overall score. So, the whole story is about everyone has this score of between 0 and 5, and say your score is 3.9 and mine is 2.8 or something.
Mine would be like negative 15.
Well, here's the thing. Developments and like all kinds of services would be offered to you, but you would have to have a score of 4.2 or higher or something. So if you wanted to go to a store would actually say, I'm sorry, you're only allowed in here if you have a score of whatever and higher. It was a really terrifying idea, but it's already happening, which is even the worst part. So
but it's only terrifying because we're not the ones that score like more than 4.
True. So this beer here,
I wouldn't even manage that.
That website, Beer Advocate, has already rated it, but just wait until the beer can rate you, and then we're screwed.
In Soviet Russia, beer rates you.
Watermelon is my head.
Soviet Russia.
Is there actually a thing anymore? Soviet Russia. I mean, really?
Yes.
No, it's not.
Putin's bringing it back.
Another article that you've posted in on our channel here is something that I think Alan should introduce because it's kind of amusing.
Well, apparently there's these weird nativity scenes, and the latest one depicts Jesus' birth using hipsters. So it's it's a Christian author named Mark Ostrelcher. He collected about a dozen favorite nativity scenes on his blog, wisemarco.com, and it's become a yearly tradition, and his collection has expanded to 70. And his latest one is a hipster nativity that that shows Joseph and Mary taking selfies with baby Jesus, and Mary's holding a Starbucks cup, and she's got her bra strap showing, and Joseph is wearing khaki pants and a shirt with the sleeves rolled up, and he's got his phone out. The 3 wise men are on what are those things? Segways, and they're holding Amazon boxes, and there's a cow. And
that's my favorite part is they have Amazon boxes.
And the manger is solar. It's got solar panels on the top.
And
I
would like to also
the cow is
just add
100%
here
organic.
the boxes
Yeah,
are from
they're Amazon boxes.
Amazon. Yes.
Some past nativities. He has a zombie nativity, which shows zombies being all the characters. A meat nativity, which is a nativity made entirely of meat products. A spam nativity, which is kind of the same thing.
That's awesome.
One made out of s'mores. One made out of tampons.
Wow.
And interestingly, he did a color nativity. Now, this is a nativity scene that is made entirely with just colored rectangular blocks. And the idea behind it is, even though just rectangular blocks in particular places, nativity scene is so iconic, you still know what it is without even being told what it is. So if you see this thing, it's sort of like there's like a big brown rectangle with a golden kind of pillar on top, 3 pillars to the side, and each one's a different color. And you've got the Joseph block, the Mary block, and the Jesus block. You know exactly what it is. So that's kind of interesting. And he's got several others here. It's kind of cool. Oh, here's one.
I'm impressed. I'm liking what I see here. I think that I love the colored one, like just the blocks. That is just amazing.
I love that
one. So pretty.
It's so hipster,
Yeah, it is totally. It is so bizarre. It's just amazing to what it looks. I mean, it looks amazing, like totally simple. Something you could probably make on your own fairly quickly in like a couple hours. But
yeah,
amazing. Not that I want a whole bunch of nativity sets.
No, me neither.
But
I thought the hipster nativity. I mean, given that it's Christmas, and maybe we should have talked about this on our Advent podcast. But I thought it was kind of cool. Just seeing the Joseph and Mary characters in the nativity there. And then Mary's got like the over the shoulder, off the shoulder shirt on, and her bra strap is showing. She's giving the peace sign and holding her Starbucks cup next to baby Jesus.
I think she's doing a duck face as well.
Is she? Yes, you're right.
So, yeah.
She is.
She's doing the duck face.
I never really kind of
I do
understood
really
that.
bad.
Like, what's the deal with duck face?
I think the intention originally was that it was supposed to make your face look thinner.
Really?
Something like that, anyway. But again,
Does it make my face look thinner?
Does this make my face look thinner? Maybe. But I don't know. It's a bit strange, to be honest. I gotta say, this one, the hipster one, is not my favorite, but I do love the fact that the hipsters have the Amazon boxes and whatnot. So
yeah,
it is kind of cool. So Dave,
yes,
overall, the Grapefruit IPA, what is your final say? Because you're going to be the hardest audience here. What is your final say for this particular beer?
I am actually enjoying it more now than I did at first.
So it's kind of grown on you somewhat.
Yeah,
do you guys have writing on the bottom of your bottles?
Yes.
Oh, I do too. 0915, I think. 0915, I think. What did you say?
0726.
I think I've got 0923. I don't know what that means.
My assumption is they are just, it's the date that it was bottled. So mine's newer.
Jesus, mine was bottled back in
yours.
frickin' July? What?
What?
So this actually is very interesting then, because it could show how beer is distributed throughout BC. So Dave, so we all bought this beer today. Dave got one that was bottled in July. I got one that was bottled in September. And what was your number on the bottom, Shane?
Mine? 0915.
So you got the one that was bottled about a week before mine.
Oh, okay. So
Interesting.
yours is the freshest?
Mine's the freshest by a week.
Damn, I was hoping mine would. Oh my god, I totally want to have the freshest beer. So I think,
speaking of fresh, I would just like to give a shout out for the label.
Yeah. Oh,
Yes.
actually, you're
Because I think
right.
the
We
label
totally
is
didn't talk
cool.
about the label at all.
We didn't mention it at all.
It is like a monster. What is this called?
This is Mexican inspired, clearly.
It's there's actually a caravella or something, which is a styled skull of some sort. I mean, I'm not probably right, but something like that. So yeah, it's actually very pretty. Hold your bottle up. It's very pretty. Look at that. Look at how pretty that is.
And right up here in the corner, it says Goose the Pamplemousse.
Goose the Pamplemousse? Where's that? Oh, yeah. Goose the Pamplemousse. That's hilarious.
That's very good.
All right. Well, I'm going to leave it at that, boys and girls.
All right.
You guys are amazing. Thank you for watching the show. Make sure you let people know and how exciting we all are. I mean, look at this face. Look at this face.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel.
And look at that face.
Because if we get a lot, we'll make money.
That's right. So subscribe.
And we'll share it.
Follow
We'll share
us on
it with
Twitter.
everybody.
And also, don't forget to spread the word. Really, is really all I want to ask. So thank you again, and we'll see you guys next week. And of course, tomorrow, day 8 of the Advent calendar, where myself and Alan drink beer that is a big, humongous mystery, and Dave is missing out, which is just typical.
Yes, I am.
Good night, all.